and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about lifestyle habits. Your habits make up how you react to your environment. So what I want to do is first of all look at what these things have in common. Drinking alcohol, crossing the street, surfing, smoking, driving, abseiling, rock climbing and skiing.
It's quite a variation of things there. I think for each one of those, there's an element of risk involved, whether or not it's a direct thought-out risk or physical risk. I think that's the common denominator.
You're quite right. I mean, we take risks every single day, but why do you think we take risks? Or why do you take a risk, Shirley?
I think there's different reasons. I think sometimes there's peer pressure, sometimes to save or to make money, for emotional stability. There are many different reasons personally why I would take risks, and there's very small risks, day-to-day things that you do, and there's also quite large ones. So
if you're embarking on a weight loss program, you would certainly be considering, is it risky? Because you don't want to risk failing, and that's what often happens with all sorts of behaviour.
You know, I think it's taking risks, even something as small as telling somebody that you love them, is, you know, you're risking a sense of rejection. So I think that if you don't take risks, you don't have an awful lot happening in your life, and I think it's really important that you incorporate them and don't think of a risk as being something as big as jumping off a building or out of a plane. It's something that we do all the time in order to evolve in life.
That's right. Everybody takes risks every day for different reasons and with different consequences. But I want you to think through some of your health risks. So for the next part, I'd like you to stop and complete the downloadable handout. What is your health score? And then score it through. Just read the instructions and score it through, and we'll talk about it in the next part. Welcome back. I hope you've taken the time to complete your What is your health score handout. Now, just to look at your results, with regard to SS, all the S's, they're standard for stress. They're all stress questions. So if you add up all the S's and you have a score of 15, that's excellent, low risk of ill health. Good, poor, or very poor, just look at your score. Now, stress could be something to do with the amount of pressure that you have at home or at work, anywhere at all.
No, absolutely. I mean, stresses can be very positive up to a level. You have your optimal stress level, but then anything over that, obviously, it becomes detrimental to your health, and it's hidden behind everything and in everything. But it can be very positive, but it also can be very negative whenever there's too much in your life.
It's interesting to see, you know, a lot of people that think that they deal well with stress actually come up with quite a low stress score. So, you know, it's something that they do have to think about. With regard to HM, that's health maintenance. That means, are you taking the time to have your regular checkups? And that's where a lot of men would come in quite low, in particular men. D for diet, we're certainly dealing a lot with that in this program. And again, perhaps by this stage you've made some changes, but you can reflect on how much worse you were before the start of the program. And DR, drugs. Well, again, you're going to have things like alcohol and smoking in that category, which are, you know, common drugs. But also, if you are taking any prescription medication, then perhaps that's going to be unusually low, or, you know, give you a rating that's perhaps poor. There's nothing you can do about that one, but perhaps there are other aspects in there that you can do. So really, you're looking at that worksheet just to see whether or not there are areas that you can work on. Okay, now that you've looked at your health score, perhaps you've noticed that there are some health behaviours or attitudes that you would like to change. There's a number here that we want to look at. binge eating, sleep, smoking, alcohol, and drinking water. So are you a binge eater? Do you regularly eat huge amounts of food while feeling out of control? Binge eating, unfortunately, leads to weight gain, emotional distress, and unhealthy dieting. They have a higher risk of kidney disease, heart attack, arthritis, diabetes, bone deterioration, stroke, and certain types of cancer. Regular binge eating can lead to low self-esteem, low energy, and depression.
I think the main thing with that is the total fear again of feeling out of control in those situations. And very often I know that a lot of people wake up and they think, oh, I'm not going to do it today, and I'm really going to eat sensibly, and it's like a vicious circle. And sometimes issues will go a lot deeper, and it's something that you need to maybe sort of inquire about and just see if you do have a real issue with it, because there can be a lot of controlling aspects attached to food and eating too much. But if it's something that you just feel that you've got into a habit of doing, just generally, it is something that can definitely be overcome. I think it's really important to find the trigger emotion or food. You need to figure out whether or not you eat because you're sad, lonely, depressed. It's a really good learning process to take time to try and figure that out, don't you think?
And then deal with that. I mean, that's the important thing.
No, absolutely. Number 2, to me, is so important. Never ever sit down in front of the TV or at any stage and eat out of a big bag or out of a box, because you are just asking for trouble. There is no way you're going to eat one portion if you do that. So put it into a small bowl, and if you're going to have something, like ice cream, eat from a smaller spoon as well, rather than a dessert spoon. I think if you're actually following the GI program with your 3
Which
main
I hope
meals,
everyone is.
Yes, of course, at this stage you should be, and your healthy snacks as well, you are much more satisfied. You don't feel like you're having to deny yourself in the evening, because the desire is not there in the same way, because your blood sugar level is much more balanced. It's also good to eat with other people as well, because you take time to digest, you eat more slowly, and you chat, and it's just I think eating with family is a very important time of the day as well. Catch up on what you've been doing, and I think letting yourself take 15 to 20 minutes to eat your food is good. A lot of people never put their fork down. Try, if you are one of those very fast eaters, to put your fork down in between. Spend the time feeling the food in your mouth, tasting it, enjoying it, rather than wolfing it in at a very fast pace. And knowing your portions as well. Whoever's actually giving the food out, make sure that that the portion is really what is needed for you. If your husband is twice your size, he's obviously going to be getting much larger portions. So just learn about what's the right amount for you. Filling in your journal, it just shows all the different habits that you have developed over the years, and it allows you to sort of break those down and realize when you do have a response, or what your trigger emotion or food is. Sometimes allowing a small portion of your trigger food, I think, is a very good idea, because it takes away from the feeling of denying yourself. But this is not necessarily for all people. I know there's some people, if you buy a carton of ice cream, there's no way you're taking a couple of spoonfuls, so it's better not to buy it, or to buy a very small one if it's going to be your treat for that particular day. And please don't beat yourself up. We all fall off the wagon. It's just life, but it's learning about how to get back on track after 3 days, as opposed to 3 months or 3 years for some people. So just remember, we're all we're all the same, and as far as like trying to
being good most of the time.
Yes,
That's what it's all about,
absolutely.
isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, the next part we'd like to talk about is actually sleep. Getting plenty of sleep is essential for successful weight loss. Too little sleep can increase your hunger and affect your body's metabolism, making weight loss even more difficult. I mean, of course, if you are lacking sleep, you're lacking in energy. And if you're lacking in energy, you're going to be doing less and therefore burning less calories. And the other thing is, of course, without sleep, you're less likely to be able to metabolize carbohydrate. And that means that, unfortunately, it could lead to serious health consequences like type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease, but also obesity. So it's absolutely vital that you get as much sleep as possible.
Ideally, you're kind of looking, I think, adults about 7.5 hours is probably
Yeah, I mean,
perfect. 7.5
certainly
to 8.
8 hours. Okay, some things unfortunately are out of your control and will lead to poorer sleep. First of all, if you're over 40. It's unfortunate that as you get older, you do develop more sleep problems.
I definitely feel that. Do you not? I've noticed a big difference.
Sure, I'm not over 40. Women, if you're a woman, you will sleep worse, unfortunately, due to hormonal problems. I mean, women sort of wake up more regularly, don't they? With they're tuned to children. Health history is another one. I mean, obviously, if you're in pain, it's far more difficult to sleep. Certain conditions, even depression, can lead to poor sleep. Lower socioeconomic status. I mean, obviously, more financial worries.
Definitely. But I mean, of course, well, in this day and age, to be honest, we've all got financial worries to some degree, but I mean, particularly if that's money worries, it always keeps you awake at night.
Work hours, those shift workers, unfortunately, most shift workers have problems sleeping. There are certain things that you could possibly do, and let's cover them in the next part. Things you can control, first of all, are diet. Eating a heavy meal too close to bedtime can interfere with your sleep. So just stick to healthy snacks, particularly, again, you know, a shift worker coming home, middle of the night, everybody else is in bed, and you can sometimes think, oh, well, it's time for my main meal and then go to bed. Wrong.
What would you suggest as a sort of healthy snack that would work?
I think really a bowl of cereal at that stage and then go to bed is fine. Mm-hmm. If they're having the main meal, you know, it doesn't matter what time of day, to be honest. It's always your 3 meals. And it doesn't matter if it's two breakfasts, a bowl of cereal.
No, absolutely. And I think sometimes even if you have a bit of heated milk, it's quite soporific. It does make you feel quite sleepy as well.
Yeah. And definitely avoid any fried, fatty and spicy food. Definitely. Caffeine, please don't consume any for at least 4 hours before bedtime. Still, obviously, it's very popular in restaurants. Would you like tea or coffee? Mm-hmm. Definitely go for decaffeinated variety.
And there is caffeine in tea. A lot of people don't realise that. I think they always think of the coffee.
I mean, it is slightly less, but certainly you would try and avoid all forms of caffeine. Yeah. Your exercise routine. A consistent exercise program can help you increase your energy levels during the day and regulate your sleeping patterns at night.
Without a doubt. I mean, I can put my hand up. I know exactly whenever I stop doing a workout, or I've spent a couple of weeks and I haven't been consistent doing it, I notice a huge difference in my sleeping patterns.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just natural, isn't it? You're tiring yourself out, and you will sleep better and your muscles will recover. Your stress levels. Take time to relax and relieve stress. Exercise, meditation, yoga, music. It's all important. You have to find what relaxes you, but certainly a combination of all of them would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think even just teaching yourself how to breathe. There's different breathing techniques that you can do where you're really allowing yourself to take in the most breath in every breath that you take, where you're really expanding your lungs. And again, we've got a whole section on posture, and as soon as you're holding yourself better, you do take in more oxygen. And it's, you know, breath is your life force, so you need it for repair, you need it to relax, you need it for everything.
Your outlook on life. A pessimistic outlook on life with your negative thoughts, beliefs and attitudes actually increases your risk of insomnia. So if you are positive, you will sleep better and experience better health in general. I mean, it's a tough one, obviously, to change, but you know, just try to err on the side of positivity.
Well, it does take the same amount of energy to think positively as it does to think negatively. It's not always the easiest choice, but you know, it's always a little bit harder, I think, sometimes, particularly if you're surrounded with negative people or negative issues. But just remember, same amount of energy, just try and take that positive choice. Your
environment, it needs to be not too bright, noisy, hot or cold. A sleeping mask can help. closing the blinds
Yeah,
and
you love a
curtains.
mask, you don't you? Yeah,
I do, yes. Earplugs, or even white noise. That's just noise like a fan, a continuous sound, or a CD with rain blocks out any disturbing noises. So, tobacco. Okay, this is one that I want to spend a bit more time on, but it is a stimulant and it does interfere with your sleep. Obviously, well, most people don't want to smoke, but they are addicted to it. But we need you to try and encompass all aspects of healthy lifestyle. And
How many hours before you go to sleep, should you have your last cigarette? Say if you're trying to put a structure in place for that, would you
Well,
say
certainly 3 or 4.
3 or 4 hours?
Mhm.
Is that achievable, do you think? Do you think they can work it back and maybe do it sort of an hour at a time?
Well, to be honest, as a non-smoker, I do find it hard to relate. But I mean, dealing with smokers, I have noticed that even a small step for some people can work, but for other people, it's either all or nothing. So whatever works. I mean, this is not a program to do with quitting
Giving it,
smoking.
no,
but
absolutely,
it's-
absolutely.
But apart from keeping you awake, there are actually a few more facts about smoking that I wanted to touch on. Smokers actually run an increased risk of cataracts. They take 25% more sick days a year than non-smokers.
Goodness.
Smoking stains your teeth and ruins your gums. It increases your risk of periodontal disease, which causes swollen gums, bad breath, and teeth to fall out. It causes an acid taste in the mouth and contributes to the development of ulcers. It also affects your looks. Smokers have paler skin and more wrinkles.
Yeah, I always find that smoking as well. I mean, there's an agitation attached to somebody that is a smoker, and either there's no smoking in the restaurant and the bar, and you feel that the whole attention is on. I've got to go out and have a cigarette, and so that makes you quite anxious and stressful as well. So it's all those combination of it's not really helping towards a healthier lifestyle.
Getting back to sleep though, alcohol, and a lot of people think that drinking alcohol will actually help them fall asleep because it is actually a depressant. But although it's initially true, you're much more likely to wake up in the middle of the night and experience nightmares and night sweats due to the withdrawal of alcohol coming through your system.
What about 1 or 2 glasses of wine or?
Yeah, well, certainly red wine. There's an awful lot of evidence that suggests that 1 or 2 would actually help with health, but I think possibly sticking with the recommended limits is what we're after
Okay.
here. So, a few more facts. Basically, your body processes alcohol first, leaving your carbohydrates and fats to all get stored as fat. Alcohol is a diuretic, so it causes water loss and dehydration. So always drink lots of water. Alcohol stimulates your appetite. You're always thinking you need something to go with the alcohol,
Yeah.
so you're going to be
That's normally, you see here,
snacks,
salty nuts and crisps.
which make you more thirsty and more encouraging you to drink more. And also alcohol contains 7 calories per gram and offers no nutritional value. So it's empty calories. So you can definitely do without. There's a chart here which indicates how many calories in your favourite drink. You can pause here and have a look. There are a couple of supplements that can help you sleep. The 2 best researched and most effective supplemental sleep aids are valerian root. It actually helps people fall asleep and stay asleep, but it may take up to 4 weeks or more to notice your improvements.
Okay.
And the other thing is it leaves people a little bit fuzzy in the morning, so that may not be good. Melatonin is a hormone, and it plays a critical role in the regulation of your sleep-wake cycle. It is possibly effective, that's what they say in the research, it's possibly effective in decreasing sleep disturbances caused by jet lag, as well as likely effective in easing sleep. Now, for both of those, they are available over the counter, but it's best to check with your doctor first. Okay, I also wanted to talk to you today about water. Are you drinking enough? Thirst and hunger sensations are actually triggered together. So a lot of people will feel hungry or think they feel hungry and reach for something else to eat. But far, far more of those signals are actually because you're dehydrated.
Yeah, I think it's really a good test to do for yourself, whether or not you're thinking, oh gosh, I haven't eaten for 3 hours, I must be hungry. Just the next time that you're feeling like picking something up, just do it for one day. Pick up a glass of water or a bottle of water and just see what the effect is. Start to relate and listen to your body. I think a lot of this is what is so important, that we become quite disassociated with what our body is asking us for, and it's good to get back to know your body again. I mean, you carry it around with you all day. It's quite good to know what actually its true needs are.
Water helps reduce weight in 2 ways. This is the secret ingredient, honestly. The more hydrated you are, the quicker your metabolism works. That's your engine. That's the thing going inside, and that means you're going to be burning more calories. Take that on board, please, because you have to drink more water. Secondly, if your body is not used to getting water, it actually stores more in the ankles, hips, and thighs. It's just like a thirsty cactus. It's going to hang on to it. So once your body realizes that you're going to give it more water, it will actually get rid of the stores and you'll lose weight. It is the secret to weight loss. You must drink more. If you're trying to lose weight, obviously we all say drink at least 8 cups a day, but there is a little formula which perhaps you'd like to take time and look at. For every 2 pounds of body weight, you should be drinking 1 ounce of water.
Okay, I have to figure that one out in my head.
So for me it would be about 7 cups, actually, a day.
It looks like a lot. If you're going from being a non-water drinker, I think it can be quite daunting to suddenly say have 7 or 8 glasses of water a day.
Or
back
more,
to being realistic, achievable. If you're going from nothing, 1 is good. Anything more than, nothing is going to be good. And build it up. Make it your short-term goal. I'm going to, try for 3 or 4 glasses today. See how you feel. Make it easy for yourself. Carry your bottle with you.
Certainly add a little bit of diluted orange.
Definitely.
It's fine to add a slice of lemon, just some flavour if you're finding it difficult.
Natural oils are good as well. You can put in a little bit of natural grapefruit oil or
green tea. I mean, that's going to count. There are plenty of ways to get that into you, but keep going throughout the day. Don't sit down to think I've got to have 2 litres at one sitting. Just sip all the way through the day and see how you get on.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Other benefits, it's going to regulate your appetite and obviously give you a feeling of fullness. So that's why often people will say drink a glass of water before your meal. It boosts your energy levels, it decreases water retention, alleviates some headaches, helps reduce blood pressure, reduce high cholesterol, eases joint pain, decreases some cancers, decreases the chance of developing kidney stones, releases toxic waste products, and improves your skin.
Well, for all of these, I mean, certainly for half of them anyway, water flushes you out. It flushes out the toxins. When you're exercising, the muscles will release different toxins. Your body will release toxins, and you want to be able to flush all those toxins out of your system. And it's just like giving it's like an inner shower, isn't it? It's a great way to, I think.
Well, for weight loss and so many other benefits, it's critical.
Yeah.